Have you ever seen one of those AI videos come across your social media feed where they take a celebrity, let's say, that is older and they de-age them over the years and show them getting younger and younger? And then we see an image of them when they were young and beautiful and in their prime. Every time I see one of those videos, I get a little bit sad. The other day, I actually saw one with Michael J. Fox. And of course, the first image that we see is him in a wheelchair, obviously suffering from the debilitating Parkinson's disease that he has had for many, many years. And so the video, of course, de-ages him and goes back, a couple years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. But the images that really stood out for me were the ones when he was on Family Ties and in Back to the Future. I think in Back to the Future, he was 24, 25, and he just looked so young and so cute and definitely looked way younger than his actual age. And so then, when the video starts over again and you see him back in his wheelchair, it's like a punch to the gut. So as someone in their mid-50s, lately I've been thinking so much about, where I'm at in my life. The aging process isn't just about our bodies aging. It's also about our mind. I mean, we have decade after decade after decade of memories, experiences, and wisdom that has just stacked up over and over and over. So all these layers of information that we can draw upon, reflect upon, or share advice with other people. So I virtually have no videos of myself growing up. My parents did not have a video camera back in the 70s, but they took thousands of photos of us. So if I want to see a photo of myself as a kindergartner or a 2-year-old or a 13-year-old, I have many photos to choose from. But videos, no. So I found this video clip of myself back from the early 90s when I was in my brother's wedding. At the reception, someone was going around with a large video camera and interviewing guests of the wedding. They were also interviewing, those of us that were in the wedding. And so I'm on camera, I'm looking right at the camera, and I'm saying maybe like a little quick message that probably lasted 45 seconds at the most. So it is not a long video. It is not much. And so I found this video just a few days ago. And as I watched it, so many things came into my head. I mean, this video was 32 years old, but of course to me it just seemed like from 5 years ago maybe. But here I was, 24. My eyes were so much clearer and bright. My teeth were whiter. My voice was higher. My skin looked flawless. No wrinkles. I did a great job on my makeup. My hair was really long and healthy. So as I looked at this video, my mouth was hanging open because I could not believe how young I looked. I kept thinking, wow, I look pretty good. But I also thought, where did this girl go? I think for so many of us, at least over the age of 50, are always thinking about what it felt like to be younger, what we looked like when we were younger. There are many, many YouTube channels, TikTok videos, Instagram stories, all for my fellow Gen Xers, and also people that are older as well. Many of them are talking about memories, nostalgia, their experiences, and what does it feel like to be the age we are today. People over the age of 50 are talking about so many issues, so many feelings, so many thoughts, so many words of wisdom. People are talking about retirement, job loss, simplifying their lives. People are talking about how now they are questioning everything they learned in school, everything they learned about our history. People are talking about all of the lessons they learned in life, lessons they learned the hard way, and how their life has not been that great up until this point, or their life has been really great and very fulfilling. They're talking about past mistakes they've made and sharing their stories in hopes of passing on some wisdom to younger generations. A lot of people are trying new things, new hobbies, going out of their comfort zone. And they're sharing these things with the rest of us to encourage us and to inspire us. I don't know if you've noticed, but there are a ton of videos out there from women over a certain age that are experiencing all of the things that are menopause related. These videos, these TikTok stories, they are all relatable. Some are hilarious, some are thought provoking. But until recently, no one has talked about the subject of menopause as much as they are talking about it right now. And so all of us that are women that are going through this, we are banding together. We are supporting each other. We are encouraging each other. We are giving each other advice, and we are sharing our wisdom. So what is the point of all this? The point is that for those of us that are of a certain generation, we are definitely in a specific season of our lives right now. One of the reasons that I do the videos that I do, where I reminisce and talk about growing up, is twofold. One, I want to preserve these memories. I don't know who's going to see them someday, maybe family members, maybe generations farther down the line that I will never meet. They will never know who I am. And maybe those videos will be fun to watch. Another reason I love to reminisce and talk about my childhood years and teenage years growing up in the 70s and 80s is so that I can spark some memories in other people and sometimes get people to laugh or say, "Oh, I totally forgot about that." Some of us have passed away. Some of us are in very poor health. Some of us are doing really well. We have never felt better. We have never looked better. I think because at some point in our lives, we realized we really need to pay attention to our health, because if we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to die really soon, or we're going to feel just terrible. Many of us have expressed that we miss the old world. Can you believe I'm saying the old world? We miss the old world before technology, before social media, before artificial intelligence. Many of us have adopted a completely different lifestyle. We've become less materialistic. We've adopted a much simpler lifestyle, getting rid of all the stuff. Some of us have even gone off grid, living out in the country, using solar for electricity, having an alternative water source instead of relying on city water, and of course, growing our own food. I recently binged watched a show called 6 Feet Under. It actually aired from 2001 to 2005. The show depicts the lives of a family that run a funeral home. The show looks at topics such as death, the death industry, and of course, everyone's personal lives and all of the drama and heartache and different things that happen throughout their lives. Well, what made this show so special was the very last scene in the very last episode. I read that the finale of this show is considered one of the best finales of all TV shows of all times. When I saw the last scene of this show, I was in shock. It wasn't like exciting or explosive. It was just so thought-provoking. And since then, I have watched this last scene probably 5 more times on repeat, pausing it, looking at different things, listening to the song that's being played. So basically, the final scene is the youngest character of the family in the show. Her name is Claire. She's in her early 20s, and she's finally leaving this whole funeral home existence that she grew up in. She's going to drive from California to New York City to basically finally start her life after lots of angst and trauma and drama. And so she's driving along, and you see the windows down and her hair blowing in the breeze, and this song is playing. The scenes change, where you start to see the other family members that are still alive. You start to see their future and ultimately their death date. And so as you see these things and when these key characters died and how they died, again, no words, just music, the screen goes to white and you see the name of the family, their birth year, and their death year. And then finally, after you get through all of that without crying, you see this young character who's driving across the country, laying on her deathbed, her eyes completely clouded over with cataracts. She's kind of looking up at the ceiling and she's smiling. And she lived to be 102 years old. So you see her birth year and her death year. And it leaves you thinking that she had a life well lived, that she made it out of that sad place she was in. And she had a life that was full. And, that really got me thinking about what stages of life are we in right now, specifically those of us who have lived through multiple decades, have experienced life in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, everything before the technology that we have today, everything that we went through growing up, and looking around us and seeing all of the people that are in our age group and what's happening to them and where are they at today and have they already left? So I guess my question for everybody is, where are you in this season of your life? Are you in the stage where you are constantly reflecting, thinking about your past, thinking about your future, but looking at it in a completely different way, where you really want to have more peace, live a simpler life? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. My name is Noelle, and I will talk to you in the next video.